I mean,
especially
they just
for
want
the
attention.
especially for the audience's sake, right? You've heard it said, right? That's how it was done. You've heard it said that gravity is a force, but not a force, but also a force, but not a force.
Hey, Witsit.
But I tell you,
Austin.
I mean,
Hey,
the
Austin.
master already
Hey,
showed
why are
you.
you interrupting?
Hey, Austin.
Was I not talking?
I want to hear. I want to know when
Just
I
wait.
I
Just
told
wait. No one
Harrison
cares
not
what
to.
you want to hear right now.
I want to hear
Let this
what
man
I'm
talk.
exposing
Let
Witsit's
this man
lies
talk
that I'm
first, and
doing.
then you can talk. You have
Witsit
no
lied
importance.
about me. I just
You
want
have
to
no
know
importance here.
why
I
he
don't
lied
care.
about me.
You will wait your turn, just like everyone.
I'll just wait.
Yeah, I think this is funny though. We should let him spiral and just get a clip.
Yeah, you can spiral after I'm done. Yeah, basically the master already gave you the pattern. The way he dealt with them when they came with deception wasn't really for the audience's sake. When he was dealing with the audience, he said, "You've heard it said." He was giving their side and then just correcting it, their side and correcting it every time.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's the perfect pattern. And when they come in with their deception, just give them back an answer that's a question that they don't know how to handle. So I'll answer you if you can answer me this.
Yeah, and that would go for both sides. That goes both ways. The problem is that the people that are supposedly doing that on their side, they universally straw man our position. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, okay, what's useless? And it goes for flat earthers too. If they're going to straw man the globe position, then it's useless because the audience needs to hear like the best side, best version of each side. That's how you learn things.
Amen.
All right, McToon, what are you crying about?
How did McToon suddenly pop in here when she mentioned him?
He's been there for a while.
He just decided to open his mouth in the middle of someone else speaking.
And what were you crying about?
I thought crying was supposed to be done silently where nobody can see you. Witsit though, before I forget, the World War II topic. I posted a PDF. It's in your Telegram, in the PDF section if you want, because it's relevant to the studies that you're doing. So if you're going to keep studying that, I would suggest reading at least that book to start with, but the author's books on the wider topic in general. If you're not already aware of it, I reckon you should digest that nice and quick.
Okay. Yeah, one thing I'll say, it's funny because he's in here. It's like whenever I was in a debate, someone sent me this clip, and like someone was asking about like eclipses, predictions, and stuff, and like this guy like bet Shane 10 grand he couldn't use a flat Earth to predict the eclipse, and then he did, and I guess now he owes Shane 10 grand or whatever. But I was just pointing out, you can go to ADL.place. I'm like, and someone said, "Would you say ADL?" And I was like, "Yeah, the good ADL." And dude, McToon freaking spiraled and virtue signal. What do you mean by that? Like he's just trying to like virtue signal for like anti-Semitism. He's like, what do you mean by that? I mean the organization that wasn't. I mean the organization that wasn't literally founded to run cover for an actual pedophile murderer named Leo Frank. That's what I mean. I mean the group that wasn't literally founded to protect a pedophile murderer who tried to then frame a black janitor, but then was still found guilty with an all-white jury in the early 1900s in Southern America. And then it was upheld with 7 appellate courts, including the Supreme Court. So that's probably what I mean by the good ADL. You know, like who virtue signals, it just shows you the kind of person someone is. Like, are you gonna come off your mic and defend Leo Frank, bro? You gonna come off your mic and defend ADL? Of course not, because you gotta just talk crazy on the other side of your computer on your streams. This is why I just ignore you.
Yeah, hold on, McToon. I'm not gonna let you keep on insulting Witsit over and over. If you want to talk with him, here he is. Otherwise, don't do that, bro. Over and over, liar, liar. We don't do that.
I can't even hear him talk. But yeah, it's funny you bring up his reaction, like a visceral reaction when any flat Earth topic is even being discussed, right? So the more
I'm ready.
He's a literal psycho.
All right, Witsit, you ready?
No, I asked a question.
You claimed that I told Harrison not to debate you. Prove it.
I heard you reached out to them. Did you reach out to them?
You claimed that I told Harrison not to debate you. Don't deflect. You made the claim that I told Harrison not to debate you. Prove it.
Okay, so from my understanding, what I heard was
No,
that
no,
you
no,
reached.
no, not from your understanding. You made
I'll
a
just
very
mute you,
specific
dude.
claim.
Shut
A
up, dude.
claim of specificity came out of your face hole. Prove it.
Okay, so obviously you did reach out to him. That's why you won't answer it. I don't know exactly what was said. I
Prove
wasn't
it.
there. I'm trying
Prove it.
to explain. So, what I heard was that you discouraged them from debating me or from platforming me because I'm a liar or a grifter or something like that. But one thing's for sure, you reached out to Harrison and or InfoWars and tried to have a conversation with them before they had me on. Is that true or untrue?
I see you changed your story from your claim
Can
that
you
I
answer
told
the
him
question?
not to. Now you're changing your story. Oh, you weren't there. You're couching your words in this. Oh,
Well,
dear, you got caught lying, Witsit.
I'm not
Thank you for
lying.
that.
That's what I heard. Are you saying you didn't tell them not to platform me? Set the record straight, McToon. Did you tell them not to platform me, yes or no? Because I heard you on your own stream. People sent
I
me clips of you saying that they shouldn't platform known liars and grifters.
hey Witsit.
Oh,
I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them not to debate you. I didn't tell them not to platform you. You lied, caught you.
Did you
What
say
did
that
you
on
tell
your
them?
stream? Wait, time out, McToon. Did you say on your stream that they shouldn't be platforming known liars and grifters? Yes. Okay. So what did you tell them? Because I heard you told
But
them that.
I didn't say yes, Austin. Why are you putting words in my mouth?
No, I saw the
Okay.
video of you saying it. I don't need you
Why
to
here?
say yes.
Oh, well, put it up. Let's see it.
Okay. Now
Put it
put
up.
on the record, you're claiming you didn't say that on your stream, yes or no?
I don't know what I said on my stream.
Oh, okay. Now
Your
here's the
claim,
question.
not my claim.
Now here's the
Your
question, McToon.
claim,
McToon,
not my
I
claim,
look.
Austin.
If you didn't tell them not to, if you didn't personally reach out and tell him not to debate me, then I will stop saying it. That was my understanding. My understanding was even that Jaron came and talked to you about it, and you admitted that you reached out to them. My understanding was that you discouraged them from platforming me because I'm a known
All
liar
right.
or
Well,
something like that.
awesome.
So if you would like to set the record straight,
You
McToon, if
will
you would
no
like to set the
longer be
record
making
straight,
that claim then? You'll no
well,
longer be making that claim, right?
once you set the record
Before,
straight,
I'll
once you
make
set
it
the record.
clear. I never told Harrison not to debate you.
Okay, what did you tell him?
I told him to not be unprepared.
Okay, so you did preemptively reach out. So do you say
Yeah,
you tell him that he
but
shouldn't debate
Austin,
me unprepared? You told him that
I,
he shouldn't debate me unprepared?
Austin, I caught you lying. You
I didn't
admitted you're
lie.
lying. Yeah,
Dude, do you know
you
what?
made a very
Can
specific
you
claim.
define
You
lying?
made you made a very specific claim. You claimed that I said not to debate you. That's a lie.
Can you define lying?
Because when I asked you to prove it, then suddenly, oh, it's not that. It was something else. You started couching your words. You started changing the story. You started moving a goalpost. Got it. Got it. You had
No,
to. You got caught
that's
lying.
not no. What happened was you were vocalizing that you didn't say that, and so that's the first time I've even heard you try to defend that you didn't say it. So then I said, okay, that
So you have
I was
you said
stop
these things with
interrupting.
no
This is
evidence
what you
then?
have to do. This is why I don't debate you, right? Because you have to
Yeah,
censor
because I
the other
expose you
person.
every time. What's it? You
No,
lied. I
no.
caught you lying. You're on tape now lying. We got
Okay,
it.
McToon, if you were so correct and I'm such a liar, you wouldn't have to censor me. So when you were saying something about how you didn't say that, I was just immediately explaining where I heard it and why I thought it was true. Lying is deceiving with the intention to deceive, right? I didn't intentionally lie about you saying that when I knew you didn't say that. I wasn't lying. So if you're saying you didn't
But
say that, I
but you
just now
knew I
said
said it. Listen,
yeah,
you knew I said it. That's why you
I didn't
said it
even
because you knew I said it.
I was under the understanding that you said that. Yes, my
Oh,
understanding was
you
that you even
didn't know
admitted to
that I
saying
said
that to
it.
Jaron. I
Got
just
it. You
said that.
didn't know that I said it. Oh, so you
No,
made a claim that you didn't know to be true.
I
Got
thought
it.
it was true.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you'll never say that again then, Witsit.
Yeah, but you're gonna. So you reached out to Harrison and you told him that he shouldn't debate me if he's unprepared.
I said, yeah, be prepared.
Wait, what exactly did you say?
Um,
So, so you're playing a
well,
game where you basically did imply to him that he shouldn't have me on if he's not prepared to do
no,
so. Okay, then
no.
what'd you say? What'd you say exactly?
Hold on. I'm getting it.
Okay. Don't you find it kind of
Read.
weird that you like obsessively follow whatever appearance I'm going to have and try to preemptively run
Oh,
cover
dude,
and
it's a fun hobby. It's a
That's
fun
what
hobby to
fans do,
destroy you
bro. He's your
every
biggest
step you
fan. It's
take.
clear.
dude, wait, you're saying you follow every step I take as a hobby? You don't see that that's kind of weird?
That's gay.
Destroying you. Yeah.
Okay,
Gay.
but do you see that my platform is bigger than it's ever been?
That's fine.
Thank
So it
you for
doesn't
that,
seem like
McToon.
you're being very successful.
Here I
Thank
said,
you,
don't
McToon,
go
for all that.
unprepared. Don't
Yeah,
go
your
unprepared.
destruction is failing.
Okay.
How many pictures of Witsit do
Wait,
you have on your
let him read the
profile?
message. Let him read the message.
All right. You guys don't want to hear it? Or you shut up, all right?
No.
Don't go unprepared.
Post it.
There are many things that people often get wrong when debating against flat earthers. They have been trained and jump on them quickly. They also have many lies that people are unprepared to handle.
No, keep reading.
There you go.
Keep
Keep
reading.
reading, bro. Why'd you cut it short?
Take the screenshots. You're gonna omit parts. So
That
do you
wasn't the
not
end of a
think
sentence.
that there's moral accountability for being for constantly being dishonest?
Moral accountability for you lying constantly? I don't know.
I think there's moral accountability for anyone lying, right? Like if you
Yeah, like you.
intentionally, I don't
Like you.
intentionally lie. That's not true.
Yeah,
Which is redundant because
I caught you
lying
lying.
isn't.
I caught you lying many times with it. I have a page on
No,
my website dedicated to your intentional lies.
no, but see, all your stories about me lying aren't true. But here's the next thing I want
Oh,
to. Are you going to read the rest of the message or not?
what?
Yes or no?
Here, I'll post it. Hold on.
All right. Don't cut off the screenshot like you did when you claimed that I said I didn't work and all that stuff. This weirdo. Talk about lie. Like I could literally sue
There
you.
you go. There you go. Go
McToon, did
ahead.
you know
Sue
I
me
could
right now.
literally sue you?
Sue me.
I
Quit
talked.
bluffing. Sue me right now.
An attorney
Stop
reached
bluffing.
out
No,
to
no.
me.
Don't
An attorney
posture.
reached
Don't
out to me and
posture.
told me that I could definitely sue
Got
you.
it. Don't posture. Don't say I could. Do
What?
it right now. Call back that attorney right now and say file the suit immediately. Tell him
Do
that.
it.
Do it.
Do
Oh
it.
Do it.
wait. So okay.
Do it.
Because he said he was so
No, I don't
disgusted
want to
by
hear
it that
no more posturing. No more
wait up.
posturing. Just file it.
No,
Just
I'm going to
file
give an
it. Just
example.
tell him
One of
that.
the things he said when you took a screenshot of me and you intentionally chopped it up and cut it out of context and then ran around claiming that I didn't work or claiming that I don't actually think the earth's flat and I'm intentionally lying to grift or that I claim that it's donation for charitable donation so that I don't have to pay taxes. These are all lies.
Yeah,
These are all
file
slander.
that suit. Stop pastoring. Just
Wait,
file that suit.
do you stamp all those claims?
File that suit, Austin.
Okay. I know you. The only reason I said no is because I said this guy would love that because it would give him some type of attention, and he's like obsessed with trying to get my attention all the time. Now, McToon, this is what I want to know from you though. When you started virtue signaling about right, and you were like, "What do you mean by the good ADL?" Did you know the ADL was started to actually run a campaign to try to vindicate Leah Frank, who was found guilty for raping and murdering a 13-year-old girl?
Completely beside the point. The foundation of it is not what I was talking about. I'm not a big fan of the ADL. I was just pointing out that you were calling the organization that's against anti-Semitism as the not good version of the ADL. That was my point.
Well, they're not good. You just said you're not a fan of it, but then you turned around in the same breath and virtue signaled about me saying they're not good. Yeah, I'm not a fan of them. They're not good. That's why I'm not a fan of them. Because under the cover or guise of combating anti Semitism, they censor anyone and everyone that critiques any person that's quote unquote Jewish or anything that Israel does, right? And it was literally founded to smear anyone that tried to hold Leo Frank accountable or to try to make sure that that innocent little girl's name wasn't like lost in the wind and that she was kept in memory. They smear them and try to ruin their life as anti-Semitic, you know, people that libel Jews or whatever. So like, yeah, that's right. I don't like them. But my question is, why is it that you virtue signal about stuff like that and try to like imply that
Maybe
some,
maybe
what's
you
that?
should just go listen again to what I said about it.
I did. You acted
It'd be a good idea.
really offended and emotional. Like, what do you mean by that? Then someone sent a chat about how I was anti-Semitic, and that's what I was actually saying. And you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he
true.
is.
Yeah,
Okay. Can you define anti-Semitism?
yeah.
Define it.
I think you embody it pretty well. That's it. But
So, but if you're going to call me anti-Semitic,
yeah,
shouldn't you be able to define it?
yeah,
Can you define it?
yeah. No, I can't. No, probably not.
So you're
So,
calling me anti-Semitic, but you can't even define it. Okay.
all right.
So anyway, man, and so
So
this is the
about
reason
that,
that people have
here,
problems with you.
here's the thing. You yesterday, this was a good one. Yesterday, you were talking about on Twitter, and then you delete everything. It was pretty good. The the lawyer that you were talking to. And so I wanted to. I know lawyers can be expensive, the attorney, and so I
Not
don't
mine.
know if you heard about this. I'd like to offer to pay for up to 5 hours of your attorney's time prior to your tweets yesterday. If you could
Okay.
just let
Okay, wait, wait.
your
You think I'm
attorney
lying about
know,
having an attorney?
let your attorney know. Yeah. So here, I'll put in the chat here.
Okay.
Can you pay for my dentist?
Wait, I just want to make sure you're claiming I
You don't
lied
have any
about
money. Dude, you don't have any money. You're a YouTuber relying on
So
stalking people for clicks.
Wait,
You
I
don't
just want
have
to
any
understand.
money.
Wait, are you trying to imply I lied about talking to an attorney?
I'm just offering to pay for up to 5 hours
You don't
Okay.
have any
of
money though.
your lawyer's
That's
time.
absurd.
Okay, I'll tell him. I'll tell him.
Hold
I'm
on,
sure
hold
that
on.
out of principle he will refuse to work with you, but I'm sure he'll publicly say who he is anyway. He's a
Here,
well-known, very successful attorney up actually around your area, ironically. He's a constitutional attorney. He reached out to me whenever I was going through my situation with Mount Rushmore. He represents quite a few very big figures in the online content creator sphere. So
um,
yeah.
here we go.
I talked to him on the
Here's
phone
your
for
tweet.
an
Here's
hour.
your tweet yesterday. So said, I'm already looking over the contract with my attorney
That's correct. Yeah.
and my
You think I
yeah,
lied about that?
exactly what you posted that. Not sure because you deleted it bravely.
I
But anyway,
deleted it because you guys were spamming my
seems that you
replies, and I
spent long for the
wait.
contract or for the final experiment. So
Wait,
if
I
you
just want to
just
point. This is a perfect point of why
by
you're so
email, or
lame.
you can mail me a bill
You
for
just
the
tried
time.
to. You're running a story to your followers that I don't
Said
actually have an
whatever.
attorney, and that you're gonna offer to pay for him because he doesn't actually exist. Now think about this reality for a second. I do have an attorney. Okay, I've actually eaten at his house with his family dinner with my wife. He's invited me to fly out to talk to people around his community in the coming months. He's helped me with my previous cases. I talked to him on the phone multiple times. So about this contract, I sent him the contract. Yeah, and one of the things was I wasn't even supposed to really talk about how I was looking over it with an attorney. I think from tactical perspective. So it's like that was one of the reasons that I'm like, oh, I messed up. I shouldn't have said that yet. So it is what it is. It's out now. I already said it. And I also deleted it because I'm like, dude, this is the main thing I tried to avoid on X is all these trivial debates and arguments with anti-flat earth trolls. Because then people go to my page, they go to replies, and they just see all this toxic nonsense. So I deleted all of my replies. But I just want to point out, think about that. Now, what I just said is all just true. But think about how lame you are for running this narrative that I lied about having an attorney and then offering to pay money. So we're gonna hold you to it. You're gonna pay my attorney for 5 hours of his hourly rate. Okay? Because this is the problem with people like you. You constantly libel and slander and lie about me, and it's disgusting. And then you want to play a victim card when I decide to stop engaging with you and block you. No, it's because
All
I
right,
gave you
all right.
opportunity for years to stop being a child and constantly slandering me, but you just can't help yourself with you.
Yeah, your
So
destruction is failing.
I don't know, I think I was booted from the server or something, but I missed a bunch, but
Well,
I
let me
get the
ask you one
gist of
simple
it. So
question, McToon. Let me ask you one simple question. If you said it's your hobby to watch every step and to destroy me,
to destroy every
how,
step, yeah.
yeah. How do you feel about the fact that my channel is bigger than ever and I'm networking with bigger content creators than ever?
Oh, I'm doing the same thing.
So,
Awesome.
no, you didn't answer my question. If your goal was to destroy, see, my goal is not to destroy you. I forget that you exist. What I'm asking
Austin,
you,
I'm not measuring my destruction of you by your subscriber count.
well, no,
I'm
you
measuring
actually
my
said one time,
destruction.
like 4 years ago, you said that your goal is to run me off the internet and that you swear up and down that you're going to make me delete my channel and that you're
I
going
said
to,
that.
yeah,
I'm gonna need to cite.
you
I'm
said
gonna
you're going to
need you to prove
completely,
that
you said you're
claim.
going to completely destroy me and make
I'm gonna
me,
need you to prove that claim.
okay, yeah, exactly. You did that. And then you also said the
No, I
same thing
didn't.
at
No, I
FTFE.
didn't.
Yes, you did. You
I
said
didn't
that.
say that. No, I didn't. You're gonna have to support the claim. You're making the claim. I didn't make the claim. You're
Okay,
going to have to support the claim.
okay. This is a perfect example of why I don't engage with you. Because if
Okay,
I
okay,
now have to
okay.
go back
I'm
and
waiting
find
for
your
you to
claims,
support your.
dude,
Yes, you
McToon, this is
100%
like when
have to
you
support your
McToon, this
claim.
is like when you were moderating me and you
This is
swore up and
you.
down online. Wait,
This
wait,
is
I'm
you,
gonna no.
Austin. This is you, Austin.
You're gonna address all these lies. So you remember when
Claim.
you remember when you moderated a
You're the
debate with
one that
me?
says if you have a claim of specificity, you have the burden of proof of specificity. So if you're going to
Yes,
make that
that's
claim
right.
about
Yeah.
me, you have the burden of proof. So
Okay, sure. Yeah.
bring
So
it
do
up.
you
Let's see
okay,
it.
okay. And this is the only problem that I'm saying is like you
No,
always
stop
just do
talking
not.
while you're bringing it up.
No,
Focus
I
on
don't have to
bringing up
do
the
anything right
citation.
now.
All right, well,
Okay,
hold on,
Okay,
you
so you
guys.
can't.
You got
Got it. You can't
hold on,
support
hold
your.
on. Yeah,
Got it.
hold on, dude. You're doing a lot of interrupting, and there's a lot of like personal attacks. If there's some like integration that can come out of this or better understanding what's going on, but it's not really a live stream just to have a lot of interpersonal fighting. So I don't know if there's some way we can move forward in a way that's more productive.
Can I ask McToon a question? Can you steel man the reason you're anti-flat earther? Is it like you think that flat Earth ideology kind of slows down the space travel, our space traveling civilization?
No, I don't think it's a threat to that at all. You know,
I
Okay.
mean,
the
What makes you
massive
think, man?
successes of us of like SpaceX in their rocket launches and progression on their technology is not at all impacted by
Can you
flat
steel man
earthers
it though?
saying
Is his question.
Steelman what? Steelman
Why
my
you stalk flat earthers all the time?
that your question
He said
doesn't
it.
make
He said
sense.
it
I
differently.
can give you I
Can you
can
remember
give
what
you
he
an
said?
answer to a question if you want to ask a
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Can you
okay.
remember
That's what he's
what
asking.
he
Yeah.
asked?
What makes you
Steelman
think?
it. No. If your
Why
question
are
is
you?
why do I do it, I'm happy to answer why I do it. If your question is can you steelman why I do it, that doesn't make sense.
It
I'll
actually
be
does.
happy to answer
You can
why do I
still
do
man
it.
a
Steel man, why
position
you
that you
do it?
I don't
believe
What's the
care.
in.
best
I don't care.
reason?
I
What's
don't
the
care.
best reason?
I'll just answer the question.
So you were wrong.
Why do I do it? Why do I do it? I do it because it's entertaining, it's fun, but the big reason is that it is a threat to intelligence and a threat to um, morality and a threat to
Morality.
society. Yeah,
It's
You
a threat
just
to
How does flat
morality.
Earth affect
yeah,
morality?
yeah. Because flat Earth is lies.
Yeah, your
But that's not.
obsession is
How
definitely a
does it
threat
affect
to anything
morality?
good.
Well, can I
What?
ask you a question? Do you think if your opinion is that it's a threat to morality because it's a lie, do the ends justify the means if in order to combat what you consider a lie being flat earth, is it okay to incessantly lie and slander in order to supposedly combat that lie?
We added in the slander, but no, I don't. And the claims you're making of me are untrue. So
So you agree
no,
that it's
I
not
when
the ends don't justify the means and
ends
it's not a
don't justify the means. So here's I'll make the same thing that everybody who makes that assertion against me, if they think that I'm lying, show the specific place where you think I did, and then show the supporting
Just
evidence.
now in text about Witsit.
So
and
I mean,
I
just
actually
now in our
yeah.
conversation,
Yes,
I
that's
he
one of
lied
them.
about.
So that's immoral, right? You're a threat.
Yeah, Witsit is immoral. He lied about
No,
me.
no, no. I'm talking about you lying about him. Just
And
now.
I posted a screenshot in the chat showing that Witsit lied about me.
Well, look,
we'll
I can
do.
give an
No, no,
example. I can give an
we're talking
example,
about
right? We
you
don't have to get
lying,
too
aren't we?
personal because Geo requests that we don't get too personal the whole time. But like back in the day, I was asked to debate a friend of mine's cousin, and I didn't want to do it. He talked me into it, and then I'm like, okay, we'll do it on this Irish Demon channel or whatever. McToon swooped in and like convinced him to demand he would only debate me on his channel. So after I gave my word to my friend, I'm like, what the crap? So I'm like, nah, don't do a debate on McToon's channel, whatever. That's why McToon did it because he wanted to try to somehow trap me back on his channel. So I had a conversation with you, and I said, "Do you agree to moderate fairly, to not interject and debate 2v1 and not unfairly mute me? It's me versus that guy, and I'm not agreeing to answer all of your super chats because they're just going to be a bunch of insults for me. I'm not going to sit there and do that. So tell your audience that I'm not going to take super chats or respond to them." And you said, "Yes, I agree to all of those things." Then when I got there, you jumped into my opener and started debating me. You muted me probably 20 times. You debated for the other guy the entire time, wouldn't even let him speak. And then you didn't tell your audience the super chat stipulation. So you basically took their money thinking I was going to respond to their super chats when I wasn't. And then I called you out for this a few months later, and you did what you're doing right now. Prove it. You're making a claim about me. That's not true. Prove it. I didn't mute you one time. Prove I muted you. Prove I muted you because you thought I wouldn't be able to prove it. I then took the time to go back, find it, and prove that you muted me. Once I did that, that proved that you were constantly muting me and you even acknowledged it in the stream, then you just pretended it never happened. Once I proved it, you pretended it never happened. So this is your tactic, is like to prove I'm lying, then people go do it, then you just skate past it like it never happened. So would you like to apologize for all of that?
Austin, I think I have acknowledged before that I did you wrong there. And if I hadn't, if you don't recall me saying that before, then I did. It was not right what I did. So I'm sorry
Yeah.
for that.
Big
Thank you,
ups,
man.
man. Yeah,
All
there
right,
you go.
progress.
None
Yeah.
of what you
Another
do is right, mate. None of it.
We can move out of the
You need,
personal
you
stuff
need
though.
to
It's
get
all
on
good.
with your own life, really.
Well, I mean, if you guys need to talk personal stuff, it's fine. But it was getting like the interruptions. I mean, if you guys, I'm just saying if there's some way to have it productive though. If it's just like personal attack flinging, but I mean, obviously there's been stuff that has happened, in history. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll ask one question about what happened in the chat. This is more about flat Earth, kind of, right? But it's still a major problem in this conversation, right? So what with the whole dynamic equivalence thing, right? Like you know what you're doing in that conversation. So someone when I make the point, well, dude, even within your own paradigm, if you wanted to believe in Newtonian mechanics or Newtonian gravity, there's a dynamic equivalence with the geocentric model. And then people say that's not true. Nuh-uh, prove it. So then I drop sources like the Neo-Tychonian Newtonian Machian analysis by Luka Popov, or his subsequent legislation like a geocentric universes mechanics or whatever it's called. And then I drop relational mechanics by Andre Aziz, who breaks down all the math and physics of a dynamic equivalence, etc. And then you respond with, this disproves your flat earth claim.
Yes.
Number one law of FLIRF is all of their citations disprove them. And of course, that source doesn't disprove my claim at all, because my claim is that within the paradigm of Newtonian dynamics, there is a dynamic equivalence. So for you to then say, oh, but this talks about a sphere, or this talks about the supposed distances and sizes to the planets, this refutes your claim, that is dishonest. It doesn't refute my claim. It directly supports my claim. It directly supports the reason I was asked to provide sources. So can you admit that that doesn't refute my claim to invoke those sources, and please explain why it is that you continue to do that?
It's incompatible with flat Earth, Austin. And so you've been using for years, you've been using geocentric things to try and somehow bolster flat Earth, but that doesn't make sense because it doesn't work to flat Earth. There's no mapping to flat Earth. Even if we do accept the relational dynamics and the Popov things as correct, which I don't, but I'll accept them for the conversation to move on. That it doesn't support flat Earth. It's you using the globe, geocentric globe, as some sort of backing for your flat Earth position, and it doesn't make sense. And the people that are the flat Earthers should see that and be aware that you're ditching flat Earth.
See, this is what I'm
But
saying.
it's fine. I
Oh
don't
my
mind
God.
if
He's
you do
doubling
that.
down.
That's
Oh my
what I'm saying. I
God.
knew you'd have to double down because he said it for years, and he won't admit this right now. But it's just a point to elucidate the problem here. It's like I don't invoke. I don't believe in those models. I've made it very clear. People say, "Well, we'll show a dynamic equivalence or a dynamic model with a flat Earth." I said, "Well, I don't know the distances or sizes or medium that any of those quote unquote planets are in, so it would be ignorant and futile for me to just randomly make up sizes and distances and mediums and stuff to make a model." And so that's the main thing holding it back. I make it very clear that obviously you actually could do that. You could use the same core principles of a dynamic equivalence, and you can choose electromagnetism like Andre Assis uses a Lorentz magnetic force. You could use many things, and you could explain the motions of the bodies, but you would have to invoke sizes, distances, mediums, etc. And I'm not going to do that. And I only
But
invoke.
Austin,
Wait up. I only invoke those papers to combat the false claim that helio or relativity proves heliocentrism, or that it's exclusive, or that Newton's exclusive to that. It isn't. There's a dynamic equivalence. That's what the papers are supported to support, has nothing to do with supporting or proving flat Earth. You know that. So why do you keep on doing that other than just trying to deflect away from the argument and prevent people from knowing that, trying to gatekeep so that people don't know that within their own paradigm there is in fact a viable geocentric equivalence? Can you please just admit that's why you're doing it?
Wow, long monologue there. So the claim, your claim, is that Earth is flat, and so when people say, well, you know, where's evidence for it? You bring up these things that aren't for flat Earth, which doesn't support flat Earth. It's telling that when asked for information, for evidence, for measurements, for predictions for flat Earth, you don't bring it up. Instead, you bring up globe geocentrism.
So that isn't true, right? So this is, of course, by definition, a lie because you are intentionally being deceptive. So no one's ever asked me for measurements or evidence or a model of flat Earth, and then I invoke the Luka Popov model or the
Oh,
Andres. That
you
is
did that in the
quite
chat just
literally
now.
that is quite literally never happened. What actually happens is when I say, well, even in your own paradigm, there's a dynamic equivalence and a kinematic equivalence. People dispute that. They say, no, it's not. That's not true. Prove it. So I say, okay, then I provide literal sources from within their paradigm, believing the size of the sun, the size of the planet, the size of the earth, invoking Einsteinian gravity, invoking Newtonian gravity, and showing all the math and physics of a dynamic equivalence. Because I'm literally just combating the challenge to the factual statement that there's a dynamic equivalence. Someone's never said
But
provide
why did
measurements
you
and
bring
evidence of
up?
a flat. No one's
Why
ever said
even bring up
last
dynamic
statement.
equivalence?
Last statement. No one's ever
Yeah,
said
that's the monologue. Shorten them a bit.
provide measurements and evidence for a flat Earth, and then I provided them the spherical Earth Luka Popov. That's never ever happened, and you know that's never happened
But why even bring them up if your claim is not them? Why not bring up evidence for flat Earth? It's a
because they're
deflection from flat Earth, Austin. Because
no, it's not.
you can't do anything. You have nothing for flat Earth. So you bring up these non-flat Earth things.
No, that isn't true. It's because there are two different conversations, and whether or not there's a geocentric model or not is not exclusive to the shape of the Earth, right? Like that's a different conversation. Is the location of the Earth in the universe a central position? Is the Earth stationary, or is it moving in this modern cosmology model? That's a conversation of itself. It's not exclusive to the shape of the Earth. The other conversation is the shape of the Earth. Is it planar in nature? Is it spherical in nature, etc.? These are two separate conversations. So we have to split them up. And when I talk about, every time I start talking about the motion part of it, people start invoking things as alleged evidence or proof that actually isn't evidence or proof. So I have to teach them their own belief, which is that within their own belief, they have to
Oh,
concede
but time
the
is
geocentric
fencing.
model is viable. It's just to acknowledge that there isn't the proof of heliocentrism that they think that there is, to combat their positive claim, to then get back to the default position of stationary, and then we move to the shape. And you know that's why I do it.
But Austin, even if you were to conclude that all of this geocentric globe stuff somehow proved or established or had evidence for the geocentric globe being stationary, it doesn't at all move you forward in stationary flat Earth because it all contradicts stationary flat Earth still.
No, but see, that's
You
again
don't see
another
that.
no, that's
You
another
really don't see
misrepresentation.
that? That's crazy.
It's another misrepresentation, and you don't see. Maybe you don't actually understand my position. I don't know, but I did not invoke this model as proof that the Earth is stationary. That is not true. It's a positive claim that the Earth is moving, that it's tilted, wobbling, spinning, revolving, flying through the galaxy, etc. That's a positive claim. I'm pointing out that isn't true. I said, do you have any proof that that's true? So what do people do? They start invoking things like parallax or aberration or ring laser gyros or whatever. They start invoking these things. So then I have to explain to them that even within their own paradigm, those things aren't actually exclusive to the Earth moving. Like retrograde's not exclusive to an Earth moving. You can have retrograde with a stationary Earth. So I have to combat, because they have the burden of proof. The default position based on experience is that the Earth is stationary. So
No, the
they're
default position is that the Earth is moving, Austin.
But
it's
You
that, but
can't
literally
say the same thing.
it's showing
The
that the
default position is
heliocentric,
the Earth is moving.
There's
it's
two
showing that the
default
Yeah, you
heliocentric
just
positions,
said that.
position.
isn't
You're
there?
just saying it.
There's two
Well, hold on.
default
It shows
positions.
that the heliocentric position is not exclusive.
yeah, and the default position is that the Earth is stationary, right? Like
But
that's
the
just
default position is that the Earth is moving.
How?
No, it's not. You have to make a lot of assumptions for that, McToon.
I can say that just like you can. I can say that just like you can, Austin.
No, you
With
can't.
zero
The
evidence.
difference
I
is
can
mine's
say you have
actually
zero
true.
evidence for it. There's no such thing as a default position in science, and there's no such thing as a default position in a debate. So neither of those actually exist. There's no such thing as a default position.
Okay, that's incorrect,
If
right?
you want
So,
to talk about a default position in a debate, you could say the most accepted position is the default. I don't think that's a necessary spot, so I won't require that you have that position. But
What about
the default
Occam's
position
razor?
is not just what you say it is. You don't get to
What,
just declare default position.
yeah,
what
so
about
exactly.
Occam's
Occam's
razor?
razor is that which requires the least amount of assumptions is most likely to be true. You combine that with just the default experiential input, which is that we
All of
don't
our
experience
senses.
the Earth.
So
Exactly.
I can make the
And then
exact same
wait up.
argument, Austin.
No, you
Same
can't.
argument. I can
No,
make
you
the same argument, 100%.
Okay,
What?
time out. The official
That's
stillman of the claim that the Earth is moving is that it's an illusion that we're not moving because of scale and relativity. Literally, the base claim of heliocentrism is that sure, it will appear to be stationary, but it's actually not. And even more than that, we actually have interferometry that show that you can't detect the orbit, which was exactly what is
We
expected.
have
The Earth's not moving.
interferometry that says that you can't detect ether.
Time out. So then you have an excuse
Time
as to
out.
why you
Time
have an
out.
excuse
Time
as
out,
to
Austin.
why you have
Time
an
out, Austin.
excuse.
You have an excuse. You have an excuse.
You have an
Austin, it's the
explanation.
same.
You have an explanation.
Same thing.
You have a proposed explanation as to why we can't detect the motion of the Earth with interferometry, but that doesn't mean it's the default position. It means
But
that
yeah,
if we
your
didn't have your
position isn't
excuse,
default position either. Yeah,
Dude,
it,
please
your
hold on.
stance
Please
isn't a
stop
default
interrupting.
position either.
Could you please stop interrupting? Could you just wait till he's finished
Yeah,
and he'll,
Austin, please
then
stop
and he,
interrupting.
well, you can, no, you're interrupting him. You can have the time to respond, but we can't hear anything if you're both
Okay,
talking. Just let
okay,
him finish and then you can say your point.
super.
yeah.
That's
So
his tactic.
the default position based on Occam's razor and experiential value and senses and even interferometry is that the Earth's not moving. The heliocentric model has to say, well, the reason why that you can't detect the orbit is because of this, and this. Okay, so that means that both prior to you introducing that explanation or what I call excuses, then the evidence on its face as the default shows that it's not moving. You then have to come along afterwards and explain why it may appear to be stationary, but it's actually not.
Right. So everything you said, I can say the same thing for the globe. Interferometry measures motion, and your Occam's razor denying answer has a whole bunch of assumptions in it.
No, I don't deny. I don't deny that there is motion. There's a sidereal
You don't
rotation.
deny that the Earth is moving.
No,
You do
no,
deny that
I
the Earth
don't.
is moving.
No, but there's a sidereal rotation that we're
Yeah,
measuring.
that's the Earth. That's the Earth moving. Is the sidereal
That's
rotation.
what you're claiming.
Occam's razor gets that one.
No, the reason that Occam's razor doesn't get that one is because we already made interferometry measurements of. First of all, Occam's razor is that which requires least amount of assumption. So when we go outside and it's completely still, and then the wind blows one way, then stops again, is like, oh well, the wind's moving, the Earth's not moving. That's the actual default.
Okay,
When we
what's your
when we get into
assumption when you say? Hold on. What's your assumption when you say that interferometry already measured no motion? What's your assumption for that?
first of all, let's not skip past the
Don't
Occam's.
answer it.
No,
Deflect.
I
Deflect.
will happily answer
Deflect.
that.
You won't answer it.
It is Michelson Morley, and
Yeah.
it was
What's the
expected
assumption?
to detect motion, which is why the entire model had to be
Well,
revised
what's
to
the assumption?
what the
What's
assumption is
the
that
assumption?
the assumption is that we can detect motion with interferometry.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yes,
It's
that
more
is
than
the
that.
assumption.
What's the specific assumption? It's in the first page of the paper.
That if the Earth was moving, we'd be able to detect it with interferometry.
With what? What's the assumption though?
In interferometry.
No.
I know you want to say ether.
Yes, that's the right answer, Austin.
No, it's not, because the ability to detect motion with interferometry is not dependent upon ether, or you wouldn't even be able to invoke ring laser gyros or Michelson-Gell-Pearson. You don't need ether to detect motion with interferometry.
Yes, you do. That's the assumption, Austin.
So then you can't invoke ring laser gyros or Michelson-Gell-Pearson as a
The
detection of the motion of
assumption.
the rotate.
It's
Wait.
the assumption, Austin.
Wait, do you not see the problem here? This is why you
Oh, I
can't
see the
debate without.
problem.
You see, when you're told not to interrupt, it's all your arguments crumble, right?
This is your
So
interruption already of me, by the way.
My point is that when you can't censor the information, all your arguments crumble, right? So we just made a point. You just contradicted yourself. You said that you have to make the base assumption of an ether to then assume or implement interferometry to detect motion, but that would actually refute your own position when you claim that ring laser gyros or Michelson-Gale-Pearson is a detection of the Earth's rotation, because you simultaneously claim there is no ether, which means you are forced to conclude that you can detect motion with interferometry without an ether. So now we're going to go back to Michelson-Morley. We don't need an ether. The fact is interferometry detects motion and it doesn't detect that motion, which is why you had to make excuses as to why you can't detect it.
Right here. On the undulating theory, according to Fresnel, first, the ether is supposed to be at rest. That's the assumption. In the interior of a transparent medium, which secondly, it's supposed to move with velocity less than the velocity of the medium in the ratio n squared minus 1 over n squared, where n is the index of refraction. So that is declaring right there. This is the second page of the paper, declaring that the assumption is ether.
Yes, but once again, okay, just answer this question.
Occam's razor. Occam's razor.
Do you need ether to use interferometry to
No,
detect motion?
no.
Okay.
But the assumption of Michelson-Morley is that there is an ether.
Okay, now let's
You
just
need
take
so you need ether. I'll clarify that one. You need ether to measure linear motion. You do not need ether for rotational motion.
there you go. So you actually had
Interferometry.
to wait, time out. You had to update the model and claim the orbit was actually linear motion, which was not the claim up until Michelson-Morley. You actually had to update the model to say,
What?
well, although we're going
Why is it not
around,
linear?
although we're
Why
going
is it not linear?
around
It's
the
on the first
sun,
page.
although we're going
First
around
page.
the sun, okay, actually it's linear motion because we're free falling to the geodesic of curved spacetime.
The
So that's my point. You had
quote
to.
here, I'll just quote it. The effect was attributed to a simple composition of the velocity of light with the velocity of the Earth in orbit. It's talking about the linear velocity here.
It doesn't say anything about linear. Okay, it's just trying to detect a small portion of the motion, a small
No, it
portion
wasn't.
of the motion within
No,
the. Wait, where does it say linear? Where does it say the
it
Earth's
doesn't say
orbit?
linear, but it's a reference to James Bradley 1727.
Okay, so
Right.
it doesn't
The
say. It
first
doesn't.
sentence is the discovery of the aberration of light was soon followed by an explanation according to the emission theory. That's talking about James Bradley 1927. Second sentence, the effect was attributed to a simple composition of the velocity of light with the velocity of the Earth in its orbit. Read James Bradley. He's measuring
This
the
makes my point.
velocity of the
This
Earth,
makes my
the
point
linear
stronger, right?
velocity of Earth. So it doesn't
When
make
was
your
the
point.
first time it was claimed that Earth's orbit was linear motion? Who first claimed that?
I don't know who first claimed it. It doesn't matter.
Einstein. Einstein did. So
No.
before Einstein, it
Oh
was
my gosh.
assumed.
James Bradley.
Okay,
James
whatever.
Bradley.
And this is simple. The world, and the point is, the room's not ignorant, right? The default position, even just based on experience, is that the Earth's not moving. When we fly planes, we treat the Earth like it's not moving. When we do everything, we treat the.
Austin, when you play catch across the aisle of an airplane, you treat the airplane as if it's not moving. This is basic Galilean relativity. This is covered in literally the first chapter of any physics book,
You're
high
literally
school
not even.
physics. It's
You're not
the
even
chapter.
rebutting my. You're not rebutting my position at
It
all.
is the first chapter.
Galilean relativity. Can you maybe stop throwing out buzzwords?
But real
It's not
fast,
a
this is the
buzzword. That's
point.
what it's called.
This is a pretty desperate attempt because almost every globe earther that's honest will tell you, well, yeah, of course, it looks like the Earth's stationary. It appears that way. Like, that's why we can't just
But it
always trust our
doesn't.
senses, because
But
the
it
Earth is
doesn't.
so big that the rate at which it moves makes it appear as though it's stationary on the local scale, because our senses, specifically our semicircular canals that detect angular rotation in our ears and our vestibular system, isn't sensitive enough to detect that rotational rate of motion. So, yeah, it may appear to be stationary. It may look that way, was just an illusion because the Earth is so big. Okay, that's the official stillman of the globe, a hyper-specific stillman. And what that means is that the default position, based on experience and senses, is that the Earth's not moving, right? So then we have to come along and add additional explanations to explain why it appears to be stationary, but it actually isn't. And that's why if I say, okay, then in conclusion here, If I say, okay, well, then provide positive evidence that support your claim that the Earth is actually orbiting the sun, that position absolutely has the burden of proof, because based on Occam's razor, that which requires the least amount of assumptions, we see the sun move. We don't see or feel the Earth move. So you have to provide evidence to support that. It's very simple. And then whenever I ask for that, they provide things that aren't even exclusive to the Earth moving, which is where we get into the dynamic equivalence, which has nothing to do with flat Earth. Long story short, it's a tactic to dismiss the argument because it refutes all the claims that are supposed proofs of movement. It's just a tactic to deflect over to flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth. That's why you do it. Just admit that's why you do it. Admit that stationary Earth's default.
All right, I'm not responding to your monologue. I will respond to whoever didn't understand Galilean relativity. I posted the OpenStax physics, high school physics book, chapter 2.1. The chapter 1 is an intro, so it's not covering the topics really. So 2.1 is the very first topic is relative motion. That's Galilean relativity. That's what that is. I don't know who it was that was asking for it, but there you go.
Okay, so this conversation I think is over. You just
All right,
basically
yeah,
you can't
I give
actually
you